We'll do it live. No. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Greetings and welcome to Old Drunken Discography, where old friends and fans come together to BS, argue, occasionally agree, and discuss a musical artist. This week's musical artist is Operation Ivy, brought to you by myself, Jason. With me is Tim.
Hey everybody, how you guys doing?
And Bill.
Hey, I made it to this. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm here.
Now this video might be a little odd, but that's because we're live streaming. So, you know, we live stream the first Monday of every month. So check us out next month. Join in the conversation. All right.
We're saying what, 8 Central,
8,
9 Eastern,
8:15-ish, you know,
yeah.
Whenever we get it rolling. All right, Operation Ivy. Quick history / relationship with the band. I've been into this band for, I don't know, many years. I don't know what else to say. They're one of them bands that you find and you just keep. Desert Island Record right here for me.
I mean, I'll follow up and say that this was brand new completely for me. It was, just never heard of them before.
And that's why we're here, Bill.
And I think I haven't heard this album in probably 30 years, but I did hear it 30 years ago. So yeah, it was interesting to revisit because I certainly know who Operation Ivy is.
Well, that was my next question was, Bill, do you know the history of the band?
I know actually nothing.
So this is Tim Armstrong and Matt Freeman from Rancid. They were in this band along with Jesse Michaels, and I can't remember the drummer's name, but I don't think he did anything after this. And they were around for like 2 years, and this is what they did in 2 years. They kind of like blew up the East Bay.
Their final show was Green Day's first show.
Yeah, which they were already broken up by the time they did their final show.
Right.
Like
but you know, you got to have that final show. The end is near, you know.
Yeah. And you can hear Tim Armstrong like all over this record. I mean,
sure.
He's wrote Sound System I don't know how many times since this album came out about how the music saved him, you know.
How many times did he write it on this album?
I mean, that's all you need though. These are just kids. It's just pure energy. It's just youth. I mean, this is one I
agree with you 100%, and you can definitely hear all of that in this for sure.
I actually have 2 copies of this. I got a Hellcat pressing, and then I found an original Lookout Records pressing in the wild, so I had to grab that. And then I got
Very
the
cool.
EP.
Okay. Go ahead.
But
yeah, you know, I was certainly aware of this band, but they were always a little too ska for me, and I find myself even going into listening to it again. There's a little bit too much ska for me. That being said, though, you could throw a dart at this album and hit a good song. Like, they're all great songs, but I think that that's where the album like kind of suffers now. You know, obviously we're getting into like different pressings and remixes and digital and all that. And so I just listened to the easiest one possible today, which was digital. So who knows? But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know if the sequencing is off for me. where there's just too many blocks of the same song in a row, and then they go to another song, but then there's a block of that song in a row, and then
They
go back
recorded
to
this in
another.
like a day.
Sure.
I mean, they just belted it out. The recording is actually, they tried to record it at Gilman originally, but
Okay.
they couldn't capture the same sound because it was like, you know, Gilman's just like a barn, basically, you know, like empty. Like if you didn't
Hey,
have the
but
crowd there, the sound
So
wasn't
you're
the same.
telling me Gilman wasn't the sound, it was the scene.
100% it was the fucking scene.
I know, but it was also a sound, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I did. I can certainly get into each and every song. A lot of my notes kind of tend to repeat themselves. And there are certainly some standouts from this thing. I don't know where you guys even want to start. But even like the second half, nothing felt as good as anything on the first half.
Oh no, man. I love Smiling. I love Room Without a Window. Caution.
Oh, Missionary was an
and
okay
so, like,
closer.
Room Without a Window, though, like comes after Artificial Life. And they're kind of the same song as it is because they're just that basic ska thing. And it's like, okay, by the time I get to Artificial Life, I'm like, okay, we've had a couple ska things here in a row, like Freeze Up, like, it's catchy and there's a great bass line, but it's ska. And same with Smiling. Bad Town. Like, it's been like 4 or 5 in a row. And I find myself thinking every time that they would flip back and forth between styles, either be, straight like Ramonesy hardcore or the reggae. Which I don't know. I mean, some songs worked better than others, but
I look at this like the same way I look at Minor Threat. It was such a short time, such a short discography, but it influenced so much shit.
yeah, I totally get that, and I actually went into this with Minor Threat. I came out of it thinking Minor Threat too. There's a lot of similarities here.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
And so, like, in the case where Minor Threat discography, like, it might have a lag here or there, but it works. Where this one, I think, like, every song works, but I almost think they would work better as like separate EPs or whatever. Like, break them out over several releases. Obviously, like Minor Threat did. Complete discography is one album, but it's everything, right? Whereas this is, yeah, it's pretty much everything, and it's one album.
Well, I mean the EP too.
I don't.
There's a 6-track
Well, sure.
EP.
Which I'm pretty sure was included in my track list. So,
Yeah, I mean
Let's
they
see,
tack it on
'cause,
at
yeah,
the end.
Yep, it got roped into mine as well.
yeah.
Which, I mean,
That
I'll
being
say.
said, though- oh, yeah, go ahead, Bill. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna mention. For me, it was weird. Like, so the first song I heard, listen to this. I'm gonna say discography. I mean, this album and EP was Junkies Running Dry, actually.
Okay.
And
That's great.
I don't want to say it made me cautious, but like it made me somewhat hesitant because I wasn't sure what I was going to hear next. And then the next song I heard was actually Unity. I'm like, oh, okay, like I can get down with this. Like that EP, I feel like it has some different sounds than the main album did. Like comparatively, I feel like there was a lot more ska and energy than Hectic. I mean, there was some, but it wasn't as prevalent. It felt.
Sure. I don't know. I really like how the album proper energy starts. Like Knowledge and Sound System are both punk rock classics. Is anybody going to disagree with that?
No.
I didn't think so. Um, I think Jaded actually kind of fits into that as well. I think that's a really good song.
Take Warning is the longest song on the record,
That
and it's
is
the
where
slower ska, like
yep.
That's
Sublime.
super ska.
Yeah.
And that's the one where you immediately hear the Clash the most.
Yep. There's some Clash here.
There's some Clash. I mean, obviously there's some Bad Brains here. There's also that song reminds me a lot of like late Black Flag, early Henry Rollins solo stuff.
I don't know I haven't listened to Rollins solo shit.
Oh, okay. Well, it's got that vibe going on with it. It does have like there are part like when he's not on the upstroke, I like the guitar part in it. But then they just fall back into the upstroke where it's like, okay, that always loses me. And the bass wants to be good on here, but I'm not sure what it is. But like, it's just unfunky. But it's also not like unfunky in a, Killing Joke, Public Image Limited kind
but
of way.
It's still, that's what's crazy is like, this is Matt Freeman, who is an amazing bassist, and you can hear it on this record.
On here.
He's not just following the root notes, like he is doing some crazy shit on this record. And to be as young as they were, like...
Well, and that's why you can kind of forgive. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And they are just kids. And for what it is, in that case, yeah, it's awesome. Throw a dart, you're going to hear a great song. I think my hot take, though, is as an album, it doesn't work.
That's because you don't... you got ska bias.
I do. I do have ska bias. It gets... But even on their punk rock songs, which for the most part I liked, but even then, like they're using the same box they're using on the same ska songs.
Yeah, but I mean, again,
and every song just kind of ends up running together. Which
they were a band for 2 years,
punk
though.
Rock, I get it. I
mean, I guess in terms of ska, like just quick comparison, I would like compared to like Propaganda's Ska Sucks song. I would say all these songs are probably better than that song.
Oh, but that song is like...
It was done intentional stylistically like ska, right? Like
they were just playing
like,
ska riff.
Exactly, but like everything here is better than that.
Yeah, I mean everything here is better than like No Doubt or
Sublime.
Yeah, better than Sublime for sure. But is it as good as like a King Tubby or even a Peter Tosh or even a Bad Brains or even the Clash? You can hear the influence.
I'd put this above some Clash records.
I mean,
not all of them.
I think it could compete with some Clash records.
I think they'd be above. They'd be above a couple of them. Because this is a lot harder than the Clash too. Like the Clash was.
Yeah,
they
you
took
can
the Clash
definitely
and like interjected that youthful energy, that punk.
You can definitely hear that, mid to late '80s California vibe on here too, which transcends a number of genres. But it was really prevalent at the time. Obviously, kind of leading into grunge and then pop punk, all that. You can hear it all here. You can also hear the dying remnants of the early 80s hardcore scene. You can also hear, that experimental stuff with like Mr. Bungle and Primus and the Chili Peppers and, that whole thing that's bubbling up. I mean, Bay Area in the late 80s was the place to be, for sure.
This put Lookout on the map.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%.
Besides Green Day, I guess, if you want to count that. But that was like 5 years later.
Well, yeah. I think Green Day took them off the map.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Operation Ivy put them there, and then Green Day took them off and sent them outer space or whatever.
If you look at their contemporaries, though, at like Crimpshrine, Squirt Gun, and Mr. T, and the group, like the whole Lookout scene is.
Yeah.
I mean, Operation Ivy was like kings for 2 fucking years.
Yeah.
And then they were gone.
They were.
I mean,
much like Minor Threat.
It's very much like Minor Threat. And to an extent, I mean, the Misfits kind of drug on a little bit, but not counting.
But they
shit.
Yeah.
I mean, they have some albums spaced out, but it's still a very small discography for as influential as it was.
Sure. Well, and we have so much more now than what was even released then.
Yeah. I mean, this is all you're going to get. Like, this is it.
Sure.
There's a couple songs here and there that aren't on my list here, but to me, this is a desert island.
Songs from it, or do we just start calling them off?
No, we're just going to do one video. This is a one shot.
Well, yeah, we're doing it live.
Live one shot.
I mean, I can't pick any. Like, to me, this is a desert island record. I listened to this thing. It lived in my CD player for years.
I think my personal favorite is going to be Bombshell.
That's a good one too. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great song. And then, yeah, like I said earlier, Knowledge and Sound System are just stone cold classics. You can't go wrong.
And you probably don't remember Knowledge from Green Day's first record, but like they covered that.
Perfect case of the original being better than the cover.
Oh, the original kills it, but at least their cover wasn't a carbon copy like they did. You know, they slowed it down and made it all. Well, I know.
Like they've done to some other bands, like they did to the Go-Go's or whatever.
This Knowledge comes out fucking swinging. Like you stick this record on and it just hits you in the face and it just keeps it all the way to the end.
100%.
I love this thing.
Let's see. Trey commented that, let's see,
Oh,
he
shit,
meant
I
to
forgot
say
about
that Cut the Crap is better than this.
that. No way, this is better than Cut the Crap.
He mixed it up. He meant to say that Cut the Crap is not better than this.
Oh,
What's
okay.
Cut the Crap?
Yeah, what's Cut the Crap?
Okay, thank God. I figured I was going to say that, and you guys would be like, "Oh yeah, that's what this is."
Yeah, that's that fucking post-hardcore techno band from the 1978 that did Bad Town First. Don't you remember Cut the Crap?
I love them.
Yeah, man, Cut the Crap, dude. They only put out 1 7-inch, and you can only find it.
Clash's final album.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. But is this Sandinista or even Bad Brains? RAR tape.
I'd put it above Sandinista. I'd put it above Sandinista.
I mean, to be fair, Jason said he'd put it above some Clash albums, right? Like,
right? Yeah, I didn't
he
say
didn't
like
say it'd be above their whole
Sure.
discography.
It's not there in all of them, but the Clash definitely has some low points.
they got some low points. That's a band we got to get to too. We got to do the Clash.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
I got some.
So that's
So many.
So I feel bad that I don't know more like Clash. Like I know who the Clash are, but I don't know.
I'm
the
sure you know
discography for
the.
shit.
Start
Should I
rotating
stay
them
or
in.
should I go?
So it's not like I know the songs. I don't know albums or orders or
Sure.
when.
Well, yeah.
London Calling's that's a.
That's a great. Yeah, it's one of my favorite songs. So
Well, that album is fantastic. All right, yeah, I mean, I can't pick top song. I love it all from Junkies Running Dry, Smiling, Bank Shot, Room Without a Window.
I mean,
Kiss You Out,
I guess if we were like, I don't know if this would even like fit this demographic of what we're doing. Like if we were color coding, I'd probably give this like at least a yellow. I don't know if I'd go all the way to green though, just because there's some
See, and I
elements
would.
that
I'd
you
give it
might.
a green.
Oh,
I'd give it a green.
Oh, this
It is good. I know it's not for me because there's too much ska, but like it's too much in a row. Like it individually, if I heard any of these songs on like a mixtape or whatever, I'd be like, that's a jam. But
Yeah,
when you stack
I mean,
them up in a row like this, it gets.
so
I
that's
know
what I'm
it's.
saying.
I
Like,
know it's everything, but even that, it's like, yeah, but it's too much.
saying that's why I'm saying like like if you were to like break this up into like 5 songs at a time, like you were kind of mentioning if they did this as a bunch of different EPs or something,
Yeah.
like
Or in in 2025, you add a couple to your playlist.
mhm. I mean, granted, the digital age, it's who cares about the album anymore?
Well, I mean, as a proud vinyl owner, I do, but I also stream music, and
Yeah,
I like to add albums together and hit shuffle, and then see what pops up.
Oh, I mean, you know what color it is for me. This is a fucking gold for me.
Sure.
I love this thing all the way through. I can pop it in and listen. It's 36 minutes long. I mean, it's up there with like Minor Threat's complete discography. It's just one of those albums, like a must-have record.
And I would agree with that.
I mean,
It's a perfect slice of that late 80s California punk. Bay Area, baby. East Side.
East Side.
Yeah. East Bay, Berkeley, right?
I mean, the artwork is just
The artwork's great. Yeah.
that's Ed
I
Connick.
like the artwork.
Energy's Ed Connick. Well, maybe it's just iconic. I don't know if you showed this to any random person on the street if they don't know what it was, but
But they might not know what it was, but they could identify it off their local crust punk.
that's true. Yeah, it's like I've seen that man somewhere on a patch before.
Right. Yeah, it's a patch with a spike coming out of it.
Yeah.
I've seen that sticker.
Yeah. Shout out Trey. Thanks for watching. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. Let us know down below if you like Operation Ivy. We try to do these one shots. We might have to revisit Minor Threat so Bill can hear them too.
Yeah.
We
got a couple good ones coming up though. So
yeah, we got to sort out Black Flag's discography to go through it too. That's a lot of like, well, this EP is like the best thing they ever fucking did, but it's an EP. Type situation.
Well, yeah, I will just see what's available in the first 4 years and what we need to cover, and
yeah, you count the first 4
We'll
years
make
as
it-
an album. That's it.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah. I mean, well, but then we wouldn't even get into the Rollins stuff. So
Right. Yeah, give us a like, give us a subscribe, help us out. We know all the help we can get. Sign up for our Patreon if you don't like Operation Ivy and you like Bruno Mars and want us to cover Bruno Mars. Check out our Patreon. You can choose an artist for us. We get some bangers, we get your Devos and your Talking Heads and your replacements. And then we get stuff like Sleep Token. So
that'll be interesting. Yeah, I'm looking
that'll
forward
be
to
an
that
interesting
one.
one. More modern band.
Yeah. I've heard it mixed things.
Well, our newest Patreon member sent me the newest single. He's like, "What do you think of this?" And I listened to it. And I'm like, "Is this pop metal?" And he just said, "I hate you so much." So it'll be interesting.
Trey commented he's going to pick Real Big Fish just to see Tim fume all night.
Ooh, that'd be a good one. Yeah, give him those horns. Give him those horns.
I'm going to counter right back with some Oingo Boingo and Peter Tosh and tell me that's not all you need.
What about the specials, Tim? You like the specials?
Yeah, I do.
Begrudgingly. Yeah, I like Operation Ivy. Yeah, I guess I like the specials too. Yeah.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's not my style of music, and it's a little too repetitive for me personally. But I I like all of these songs. Like the performances are great, and with a band like the Specials, it's like, well, who was doing it before them? So regardless of what came after that, it's like you got to give it up for them.
Well, yeah. I mean, some bands can do it before. They could be the first ones doing it, but another band come along and do it better.
Well, sure, but I mean, give me the Meters instead.
I don't think anybody has come along since Operation Ivy that's a better ska punk band.
I don't know if I can name two that came after.
I mean,
would the Red Hot Chili Peppers be considered ska punk?
No. I'm talking like your Less Than Jakes, your Mad Caddies.
Would Fishbone be considered ska punk?
They were before Operation Ivy, weren't they?
They were, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm saying afterwards.
They were part of that whole whole scene.
Is Linkin Park ska punk?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Is that the new thing? We're past new metal? Or like, is that ska punk?
Ska punk.
That's it.
Oh, Lord.
I don't know, man, but does it skank?
I mean, I'm not a big ska punk guy. I'm very picky, but...
Well, and I had that thought too, actually. That reminds me of a thought I had earlier. Where it's like, okay, I could totally see this being your favorite band, right? But then this is it. What else would you listen to that would compare?
Yeah, I was going to say, if this, I wouldn't say Operation Ivy is my favorite band. Because, I mean, it's, again, quantity. The quality's there, but the quantity is low.
The quality is there. But yeah, to hang your hat on this, it's like, well, okay, but where do you go from here? Because, any other ska punk is just going to remind you of this, and you're going to think this is better anyway. So it's like... I mean,
you take Less Than Jake. Like, I love Less Than Jake, but I couldn't put a single Less Than Jake record over this if I was to compare the two.
Right.
But Less Than Jake's more like ska pop punk.
Sure, yeah. Well, this is more ska hardcore punk.
Let's break that genre down further.
Yeah. There's also a bit of post-punk noise going on here, honestly. And then, yeah, they also throw in the
piano
two-tone and, yeah.
All right, well, we're getting off topic.
No, we're still on topic.
This is all stuff that I'd cut out if we were live.
Well, I mean, does this end?
When does it end?
When
does it ever end?
I mean, this reminds me. You remember that that YouTube reviewer McFinity, the punk rock MBA?
Yeah.
You remember that guy?
Yeah.
And he was interviewing Fat Mike, and Fat Mike asked him, "What's the best ska punk band?" And he said, "Oh, I'd go with Sublime." And Fat Mike's like, "No, you're wrong. It's Operation Ivy." Like, come on our show, Fat Mike. We agree with you.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Although, again, where does Fishbone sit in that? Where does is Primus a ska punk band?
No, come on, dude. You're just like making shit up now. Come
is Infectious
on.
Grooves a ska punk band?
Come on. I don't know, Tim. Would Operation Ivy be better than
remember
them?
Mind Funk? Were they a ska punk
You
band?
see, Trey, how he just like throws in some band that he likes and then says, "Is this the same genre as you're talking about?"
I'm not saying I like all those bands. I'm just wondering. I know who those bands are, and they were marketed as ska punk.
Hey, we're gonna get to Primus real soon. You want to talk about sounding the same? This is contained to one album. Let's just say that.
I definitely want to talk about some Primus. Sure.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about some Primus. Anyway, I've already went through the hoopla of saying goodbye, so I'll just say be safe and make good decisions.
She's a bombshell. She's a bombshell. Got something gonna be 13 to drink. 6 a.m. on Friday, plus a
break. And then you go a little woo, and then a little whoop, 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 whoop. And then it's all, and then you're ready to go again.
Y'all come back now, you hear?